good people of Earth, and welcome to the very first episode of Going Viral with myself, Sean Stevens. So it is about 6 hours before the massive lockdown of all people in South Africa. I, at the moment, am in Cape Town, South Africa, and I gotta tell you, it's absolute chaos down here. People are losing their minds. We've just driven past a bunch of shopping centers, and the parkings are absolutely overflowing with people. People are rushing, they are jamming themselves in there. They are trying to get that last minute shopping so that they can be okay before they get sequestered into their homes for 21 days. Yesterday was the 25th of the month, which is payday for most people. So a lot of people couldn't do a lot of their shopping before the 25th. So now, the 26th, everyone is absolutely chockers in there. They have about 2 hours left of shopping before the shops close down, and then that is it. They are allowed to do some shopping, only essentials and things like that in the coming days, coming weeks, but this is it. In my estimation, I think that around 80 to 90% of all of the infections that we're going to see in South Africa, all the infections and all the deaths that we're going to see are going to be as a result of the chaos in the shopping centers and malls today. Today, everyone is absolutely close. People are standing in queues, they're standing on top of each other. There just isn't space to social distance, and it's gonna be chaos. This thing is gonna spread like wildfire. I'm telling you now, today is gonna be the first day of the end of a lot of people's lives, I think.
So, going viral, what is this? What is this indeed? I guess it's just a way for me to kind of kill time while I'm stuck inside. As all of you are, we're all stuck inside, we're all trying to find things to do. I think that this is probably one of the best times in the history of the world to get stuck inside. Netflix is out. Woo! Without Netflix, I think we'd all be pretty flippin' fragged. I hope though that Netflix puts out some new documentaries. I'm not the biggest fan of watching sort of crapola TV. I want to watch something interesting, something that can fill my mind, something I can learn from and go forwards. In the spirit of that kind of thing, during this program I'm going to be learning some new things. I'm going to be working on my Spanish, for instance. I started learning Spanish a few years ago and I abandoned it, as we do with a lot of the projects that we take on. I'm going to now pick up the Spanish again, give that a good hurl. One of the other things I'm going to try to do is whenever I go away, I do a lot of sailing trips and things like that. I always carry a mouth organ in my bag. I just recently did a trip to New Zealand as well, and a friend of mine over there who plays mouth organ donated me 2 very, very nice little mouth organs. So I think it's only fair that I use them, seeing as he's given them to me. So it's time for me to learn mouth organ. No better time in the history of the world to get locked down, people. There's so much stuff out there. There's so much to learn from. There's so many tutorials online. There's so much stuff. Anything that you want to learn, you can literally just do the old type in Google, show me what to do, and boom, the information comes up. All we have to do then is put it in practice. So learning to play the mouth organ. Another thing I'm going to be learning to do is play my bass guitar. I started a few years ago after I broke my arm in a superbike racing accident. I smashed my arm up real bad. I nearly died that day. I didn't. I lived to get to this point where I might die again from coronavirus, but I'm still here for now and I'm isolating, so I may just live through this one as well. If I live through this one, at the end of it, I want to be a super duper bass guitarist. So I'm going to be picking up the bass guitar again. Again, no time like now to be stuck indoors. I have a tablet here, and a tablet I can get some bass guitar learning apps and they will give me tablature, which will just roll as I attempt to play, and I can learn how to play the bass guitar in a very short while. We have 21 days of doing nothing here. We're going to be strapped inside. Use the time, guys. Use the time to better yourself. Think of things that you've always wanted to do. Think of things that you always said you were going to do. Think of things that you always promised you were going to do, even around the house. I'm sure there's a lot of wives with big grins on their face today going, I've got my husband here for 21 days. You always said you'd get around to that thing that you were going to fix, but never did because you always said you didn't have the time. Ladies, they have the time now. So get them stuck in, drag the hammer out the old tool shed, whatever the case may be, get them stuck in, get them fixing the toilet door, whatever. You've got so much toilet paper now, you're going to have to do something with the plumbing, just get everything sorted out, get everything checked out, make sure that everything's working properly. If your toilet, for instance, goes down during this time, you're going to be in the shit.
Down in Cape Town at the moment, and I've just stepped outdoors so I can come down and take one more smell of this fresh sea air, gaze upon this beautiful mountain. And it's going to be quite some time before I'm allowed to come back down here and enjoy this view again. 5 hours before lockdown, 21 days, we're going to be shut inside. It's a hell of a thing, really. At the moment I'm just so stressed myself, like everybody else in South Africa. It's just stress levels to the max. I'm a small business owner, and I just don't know if there's any surviving this thing. Financially, we've taken such a big hit already. Such a massive hit. Of course, the finances are one part of the story, the part that everyone's actually stressing about at the moment, but we need to take the human factor into account as well. I mean, there's a potentially lethal virus moving around. It's just been announced by the president that we've hit 900 cases in South Africa. That is a massive escalation in the last week. As of right now, there hasn't been one death in South Africa, even though we have 900 infections, but that is going to change. Absolutely, that is going to change. When this thing hits townships and the immunocompromised community in South Africa, of which there are many, this thing is going to get out of hand. It's going to go wild. It's natural for us to worry about, our finances and things and what we're going to do after this. But right now, focusing on making sure that this doesn't get to my mother or my sisters, that's so much more important to me. If one of them had to die as a result of this flippin' virus, me and my belly aching and whining about my finances and what I'm going to do about my business afterwards, all those thoughts will go out the window. They'll be totally unimportant.
Another thing that I'm going to be doing is taking my glasses off. I wear glasses usually, especially when I'm tattooing. I'm a tattoo artist. I wear them glasses, and I'm going to get rid of them. I'm going to put them down, and I'm going to keep them down. A few months ago, I started doing some eye exercises, and within 3 days, I was able to take them off and leave them off. And well, I got a bit lazy with that. Didn't complete it, didn't carry on with it, and so I had to put them back on again for everyday use. This time, I'm going to take the 21 days, do the eye exercises, and get to the point where I don't need to use my glasses anymore. And if there's any of you out there that also wear glasses, want to get rid of them, which I'm sure everyone does. Also, if you wear disposable contact lenses and you run out of disposable contact lenses, what are you going to do then? Right? You're going to be screwed. So, come along on this journey with me. We will do some eye exercises. I'll show you how to do the eye exercises. I'll teach you how to do them. I'll show you what things to use with them. And very shortly, within a week, You should be able to put your glasses down. Now, I'm not sure if this will work on all eye types and all stigmatisms and whatever thingy-majigsies that you have wrong with your eyes. I don't even know quite what it is that's wrong with my eyes. I think they're just a little bit old. I'm past my 40s, like many of you are probably, and when you pass your 40s, your eyes sort of harden up. The muscles that would usually pull the focusing bits around stop doing their job so well because they get a little bit lazy, and well, I'm gonna give them an exercise. I'm gonna give them a warm-up. We're gonna take them on. We're gonna work them out. We're gonna make them lift weights and do the thing. They're gonna pump iron. They're gonna pump iron, and they're gonna get strong again. And we'll be able to focus on things from close by to far away. And with that, I'm gonna start reading books again. For me, I used to be a massive bookaholic, a massive bookworm. And somewhere along the line, I don't even know when, I put them down, and for me, that's like an absolute crime. When did I stop reading books? And why did I stop reading books? I think I'll make the excuses that the husbands do. I got busy. I started building up a business. I did anything else except read books. For me, reading books was one of the most important things that there is out there. I mean, it's just such an absolutely integral part of my life, usually. And I put them down. But I found a few books stashed away in my cupboards. My favorite author, John Irving. I'm going to be reading all of those again. But I'm not going to pick up a book until my eyes are strong enough to read them without glasses. So, first things first, strengthen my eyes. Second things first, read the book without glasses. How epic will that be? So, those are some of the things that I'm going to be doing while I'm stuck inside. If you have any other suggestions for things that I can do, things I can learn, things I can take on, things I can try out, things I can suggest to other people, just list them in the comments below. Remember, be respectful in the comments. We don't want knobheads getting super political and shooting their mouths off about this and that and things that are quite unrelated to what we're trying to do here. We're trying to keep this thing kind of positive. We're all in the same boat together, no matter what color, race, creed, wealth gap, etc. Okay, some of the wealthy people are sitting around in a mansion, but even my humble little abode is significantly better than somebody else's shack. And if you're in an area where you've just had an earthquake and your house has fallen down, even those people with the shack are in a better situation than the people where the house has fallen down. So remember, there's always somebody worse off than you. Let's not forget that. Everyone's in the same boat. Let's tackle this thing. Let's take it on. It's 21 days. I'm sure we can get through it. Worse things have happened to people at worse times of the history of the world. We are going to go down in history as that group of people that went through this thing, this worldwide lockdown. I suspect it won't be the last time, in history of the world that this kind of thing happens. I suspect that there's a few more of these bugs along the way, and I suspect that this one is going to be quite kind to us in terms of overall numbers of deaths. So this is our learning curve. This is the time to get it right, because when a big, strong virus comes around and it really swoops around the world fast and it has a much higher mortality rate than the one that we currently have, we're going to be reliant on this practice. Now, COVID-19 in 2020, this is the practice that we are going to be reliant on to get us through that next episode. The Chinese have recently sort of gotten back to moving around in China. They are releasing their people back into the factories and things like that. Remember that China had SARS just a short while ago. SARS, South Asian Resuscitation Syndrome. It's not that at all. It's something else. And I've got my trusty computer right here. I could Google it, but that's boring. You can do that yourself. You all know what SARS is. And it's not the South African Revenue Services. That's another day. China had SARS just a little while ago, and that would have been a bit of good practice for them. That would have been a good practice for their emergency services, for their preparedness, planning, in terms of these kinds of outbreaks and things. So that was their practice. They had that practice, and now they've had this practice. When the next one comes around, they're going to know exactly what to do. They would have gone through it twice. But even with them just having gone through SARS, they know to wear masks, they know to wear gloves, they know to self-isolate, they know get away from other people may kill you. So let's learn from China. China is our canary down the mine shaft. Let's learn from them. They did the things right. Let's do the things that they did right, and then add some other stuff of our own. Maintain good, healthy, positive attitudes. Support each other during this time. I mean, like I say, we're all in this together. This is worldwide. Let that sink in. Worldwide. What I'm doing here in this tiny part of South Africa, people are doing all over the world. It's just absolutely nuts. It's crackers, guys. It's just mind-blowing, the scale of this thing. But together we can. Let's do this thing and do it well. This is going viral. If you enjoy this video, if you want other people to see the kind of content that I'm going to be making, please like, share, subscribe, get this thing out there. Let's try and make it go viral. It will be a big help to this channel. It's a fledgling channel. There will be some other videos of the other stuff that this channel was supposed to be reserved for. I will be editing some of those videos while I've got the time and putting them up. There's some cool stuff of sailing, strange places, adventures, all that kind of cool stuff. Put them onto my channel. Let's get some subscribers here so we can interact and do the thing and bond and self-isolate in unity. Let's self-isolate in unity. There's never been a time in the history of the world where we are able to self-isolate and still be so close together. This is the best time in the history of the world for this flipping pandemic. Come at us, pandemic. We are going to be ready for you. Anyhow, I'm Sean Stevens, and this has been the very, very first episode of Going Viral. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Episode 2 is coming soon. Episode 3 follows that. You know what comes next. 4, 5, 6, and 7. Go on, subscribe, like, do the things, please. God bless. Go well. Don't go well. Don't go anywhere. Stay at home. Don't go well. Stay at home.
Just trying to document my massive and steady decline into confinement-based dementia. It's going to be wild. Everyone's going to have it, I think. But I'm going to have mine on camera, so